Hey, FlimsyLunchTray here, and welcome to World of Warships for our Friday edition video, where today I'm finally featuring the Khabarovsk. I don't know why. I thought I already had featured the Khabarovsk, but I never have. I looked on my YouTube studio content to try to search the name of the ship, and nothing came up. So that is a bit unfortunate in my opinion, because this ship is actually it's pretty decent in my opinion. Now you're gonna have to forgive our Yoshino fellow. He's going to be spamming a lot in the chat with different commands. But the Khabarovsk, so I'm gonna give you a brief story about the ship. The ship used to be in the tech tree, was the tier 10 Russian tech tree that was replaced with Delny. So I think was the tier 9, is that the Tashkent? It then went to Delny. And then, Tashkent went to Khabarovsk, and now you have Delny. The Khabarovsk and the GK at the same time. The Ghost Crow first used to be the tier 10 tech tree German battleship after the FDG, then they replaced it with Preußen. And they moved Khabarovsk and the GK into the armory for coal. And what's fun about this ship is that she has a powerful gun armament, being a Russian, and it has very high shell velocity, very flat arcs, and so you can go up against a lot of other, I would say, other gunboats in the game, because this is a gunboat destroyer. It's not a hybrid. It's not a torpedo destroyer. But overall, a lot of fun without the ceramic flag, or you're 43 knots with. You can see we're topping 44, a little above 44 when I'm not touching the rudder so much. And then with the engine boost, you are up over, I think almost 49. Yeah, almost 49. So the play style of the Khabarovsk is, just as I kind of talked about the play style of the ship, it's a gunboat. So that means you're not going to be, you don't really play for caps unless there's, the enemy team's just not present. And here we're still filling it out. We're flanking a little wide here. We detected the other gunboat, being the Marceau. He has better distance in terms of torpedoes than what we do. Here you can see I'm checking torpedoes. So talking about torpedoes, they're only 6-kilometer torpedoes, but if it still holds true, the detectability range of these torpedoes is among the best or the best in the game. I think of like 0.63 kilometer detectability range. And here we go and pop our engine boost because the Marceau has been spotted. And one of the things that we have an advantage of the Marceau is we chunk them for 3100 there. One is that our shells travel faster than our shells do. I think it's 900 meters a second, and his does like 800, 810. We also have a heel. He doesn't. Now, granted, he's more maneuverable, more agile than us in terms of the rudder shift. And he's French, and I think he can go faster than what we can in the Khabarovsk. But one of the things that you do with your playstyle is you do exactly what I'm doing right now. They're all shooting over us. Someone is like thinking, oh, I'm going to reaccelerate, but I'm not. And then now I am. So, you know, our potential damage ticks quite quickly in this ship, because the rudder shift is so bad on this ship. It's so bad. I take propulsion though, because I want to be able to juke, accelerate forward and reverse. And already we have over 350,000 potential damage here in the game. It's still ticking as Marceau keeps firing. So from that engagement that I had with the Marceau, he doesn't strike me as a necessarily talented destroyer player. So I feel that when I'm going up against enemy ships in the game, I'm filling them out. Someone's got a hard time landing shots. He has very lofty shells. We smashed the Marceau again. We had 6 pins there alone. Double fire. He DCPs. So then we're going to try to take some more shots on him here. We killed the throttle again. 5 more penetrations. So all of our damage so far is just here with this Marceau. So I feel like I can easily pick on him than what he can do to me. Now I don't want to rush him or towards him because he has 12 torpedoes, where I think what we have, is it 10? I'm completely spacing that off the top of my head, although you think I would know after just playing the ship. Where is it at? So I'm looking at some, yeah, 10 torpedoes. Okay. So yes, so a lot of action happening there right up at the front. We lost our sub in A, so I don't really want to push in. But let me talk a little more about the ship. So I should have a max conceal build here on Khabarovsk. So 7.9 kilometer, and we can check that. One of the things here I'm doing is AP's really good. So there's a 2500 salvo. There's a 1700 salvo. So I don't mind forcing that Des Moines to push back up in behind the island. But you can see if you can go for the conceal build, that's fine. But some players don't do the conceal build. I'm at a 20-point commander right now. I'm working on a 21-point commander, which is why I was taking the ship out on Tuesday when I played it. And I was just having a really good time. You just accelerate, you go forward. So usually when you're picking these gunboat engagements, you like to be able to have your engine boost to accelerate and deaccelerate that much quicker. But that's not the case for us here. The Marceau's coming back into us, so we're just going to simply accelerate, turn away. I'm going ahead and dump my torpedoes in case he does. He will close the distance very quickly if he keeps pushing in towards us. But as you can see, it's Marceau's kind of... We're just simply keep adjusting our throttle, and he's having a hard time landing shots. Now go ahead and pop my first heal. If memory serves correctly, you can switch between either a smoke, and I can just double check that. Yeah, you can switch between smoke or repair party. I like the repair party because I have done dreadnoughts in this ship before, and it's just quite fun having the heal, because you're kind of playing this open gunboat style, and it gives you a lot of possibilities. Now one of the things is stock. The gun range on the Khabarovsk, if you don't build for range, is not so great, because the joke is Khabarovsk really isn't a destroyer. She's more of a cruiser with no citadel, and when you have that kind of several ships in the game, like, you know, you can take Ragnar as an example. But here at the Khabarovsk, you kind of feel like you can get away with a lot, and you can see I'm kiting away, of course, here, but I'm not afraid to open up and use my guns as we're approaching 1 million potential damage now. We want to be setting fires. We do want to be punishing the enemy team for pushing in. And we have the Schlieffen pushing in against us with the secondaries, and I have two modules down and a fire, so I'm going to go ahead and use my damage control party there. And with the Schlieffen secondaries, we do have to be very mindful of them, and so we're going to be just running away. We have our engine boost up. We're being mindful. We keep one of the things you do with the playstyle of the Khabarovsk is you can't tunnel vision when you're playing a gunboat destroyer. You constantly have to pop out, see what's going on. We quickly zoom back in, try to land some additional shots on him before he goes behind the island, and Louisiana picks him up. And now we see the sub there in the distance. Gosh, there's just so much happening. I haven't been able to talk much. So we've really been delaying the enemy team down here in the south, as our team to the north has finally broke through. So this is nice. So this is working out really well. So now I'm kind of pushing back in, seeing if we can't sniff out the submarine here. But let me just talk about the WoW wikis, pros and cons that they have listed. We talked about speed, very fast base speed of 43 knots, powerful main armaments. You have 8 guns, 4 twin turrets. And the size of these guns is that they're 130 millimeter guns, which is quite nice. Your Sigma also is 2.0 Sigma, also nice. And then your maximum horizontal, maximum vertical dispersion is actually pretty good. I think, if I remember off the top of my head, I think vertical is 93, 94, and horizontal, alright, no. I think it's horizontal is 93, 94, and I think vertical is 56 off the top of my head, but I can just throw in a screenshot here too. So it's actually pretty accurate. So these guns are actually slightly more accurate even than Marceau. And I guess I'm just kind of picking a Marceau because it's also, we had him in the battle, and it's also a ship which you can get for coal in the armory. Let's see here, other things to discuss. You do have a very large health pool. You can see 26,000 health pool. Very nice when you build into Survivability Expert. you have actually, for a destroyer, you have a 25 millimeter deck and a 50 millimeter midsection and 50 millimeter plates on the bow and stern. So you actually shatter a lot of HE, and you can even bounce some larger caliber AP shells. So you kind of feel like if you want to play a tanky destroyer, I would definitely say Khabarovsk is the destroyer you want to go for. Possibly even something like Ragnar, but I would definitely say for the Cole, the Khabarovsk is this tanky destroyer that you feel comfortable. If you're comfortable playing open gunboating playstyle, or you're dipping your toes into the water dipping your water into the toes, you feel rather comfortable. I'm not gonna lie, it feels pretty decent. You had the pro of having repair party and your 2 quintuple torpedo launchers. As I mentioned, these are very stealthy torpedoes. A lot of the times, Khabarovsk torpedoes, you don't really use them unless you have someone pushing into you, or as I think we're going to get slapped here by the Conqueror as I try to avoid these torpedoes, or you're yellowing a target. So this Conqueror actually does quite well here in aiming on us. We tried to speed juke, but we just got wrecked by that British HE. And just in time, look at this beautiful teammate of ours. Comes in with the smoke. What a great play. So definitely complimented him. That's amazing team play right there from that gearing. He's definitely going places. Cons, very poor base gun range, which I kind of talked about. Here they use the word abysmal in terms of your rudder shift. It's worse than a heavy cruiser just without upgrades, just to give you an idea. Worst concealment of all destroyers in the game, and I believe I told you we went for the max conceal in 7.9. So the joke is, again, this is a cruiser, it's not really a destroyer. So torpedoes with poor range. I think the torpedoes are like 53 knots or something. Did I even pass 60? And yeah, you either have to do the smoke or the repair party. So if you're comfortable, I would say, smoke screens are torpedo magnets anyhow. As we're just being mindful, gearing already launched its torpedoes, and we're going back and forth, and now we're trying to stay outside the radar range in case Des Moines pops his radar. But if you can, definitely go for repair party. It just gives you, you can make, not that you want to, but you can make a mistake and you can heal back from it. You're not just immediately out of the game, and we've burned through all of our heals. So high explosive is really good. I actually need to tell you what the fire chances of these shells. Give me just a moment as I pull that up. So according to this, base is 8%, but you should be able to get 10% with the combat signals. AP's really nice. Torpedoes, really, you're not going to get much use out of them, so don't play this ship for torpedoes. You play it for the guns. The torpedoes are if you have ships pushing into you, like we had that Marceau, or you're YOLOing a target around the corner of an island, because they're so slow and they can be easily avoidable, but their detectability range is so low on these torpedoes that players don't see them till often it's too late. You have depth charges as well, thankfully, with the ship that we didn't actually get to use against that submarine earlier here. I'm trying to see if they have added that into this. No, we'll look at that tomorrow when we do our upgrade commander build video with the Khabarovsk. Damage control party, repair party, engine boost. So you can see we've definitely burned through our consumables here. So that's something we'll even look at tomorrow in the upgraded commander build video. So this was just a really very nice, enjoyable battle to play with the Khabarovsk. I haven't played it in a while. I'm revisiting some ships I haven't played in a while. Like I also played Gearing a couple battles before this. My team collapsed really quick, but it was my first line I grinded, and I'm trying to improve the stats on it because they're pretty poor. But for the your first lines you grind usually have in general poor stats. So we was visiting some ships I haven't played in a while, but I was like, I need to get some more 21-point commanders, and I saw Khabarovsk only had a 20-point commander. I decided to take her out for a spin, and she just plays a really nice overall. So we've just been chilling down here at the ACAP the entire game, really making an impression. And here we want to try to stay outside Des Moines' radar range, and the Gearing guy is doing good. He's going in behind the island, so really smart pre-positioning by him. And then we're going to start taking some attention from the Des Moines onto us. And And you can see, you know, these are destroyer guns, and he's over just like 10 kilometers away, and it doesn't take the shells too long to travel and get there. So you feel like you're pretty confident with your aiming as well. So I would recommend the ship. It's definitely a good coal ship. But if you want me to compare it to Marcel and Khabarovsk, that's a little bit of a different story. So 135,000 damage with exactly 400 shell hits, 2 destroyed, 5 incapacitations, 13 set on fire. So we got some defended ribbons there as well. All those things are going to help our overall base XP with almost a 750,000 credits received for the battle. We're going to top the team with 2,033 base XP, and there is the gearing in second place at 1,800 base XP. Not surprising, just seeing his team play. I was like, he's probably going to end the battle well. So he did quite good for himself. You can see we ended up actually with 1.5 million potential damage, 20,000 damage upon spotting. We took 29,000 damage here in the Khabarovsk and 22,000 fire damage with the shells as well. And then just the 112 with the main battery between high explosive and armor piercing. And then all said and done with premium count, this is total net profit and a nice additional 35,000 commander XP to add to close the distance to getting a 21-point commander here on the Khabarovsk. So if you're thinking about the Khabarovsk, I definitely recommend it. She's a destroyer, but feels like a cruiser, particularly with that rudder shift, and just very bad concealment for a destroyer. So you're going to often be playing a lot at the range. You know, we didn't really take in the closest enemy ship we had to us was that submarine and the Marcel. Otherwise, we were regularly playing 9 kilometers away up to max gun range. And that's often what you're going to find yourself doing. You're kind of this, you're an annoying destroyer player for enemy team to deal with, but you can really stack the damage up really quickly if left unopposed. So I do recommend picking the ship up in the armory for coal. So if you liked today's video, we're on our way to 1,500 subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed, I do encourage you to subscribe. Have a lot of content here on the channel. I actually need to look. I think maybe we've already hit 500 videos now. Oh gosh, I've not been paying attention. I've been so busy. I need to go look at that. So yes, I'm gonna do that as soon as this video records because I like to do some statistic information on that. So do subscribe if you're not subscribed already. If you liked the video, give a thumbs up. If you didn't, give a thumbs down. Always welcome to feedback as well, as I seek to continue to improve the channel. So until next time, take care.